The autumn air was crisp that evening, the kind that carried both the smell of burning leaves and the faint promise of winter. Jack Turner, a single dad and retired Army veteran, had just finished his shift at the local repair shop. His hands were tired, his back ached from years of service and hard work, but his mind was focused on only one thing: getting home to his 12-year-old son, Ethan. They didn't have much, but Jack believed in giving his boy a life filled with safety, discipline, and warmth, even if the world outside often seemed colder by the day. Jack's pickup truck rattled down the worn street, headlights cutting through the early dusk. As he turned the corner into his neighborhood, he noticed something strange: a small figure crouched near the front porch of his house. His instincts immediately sharpened. Years in the Army had taught him to be wary of the unexpected. He pulled over, stepped out quietly, and approached. It was a little girl. No more than 9 years old. Her hair was tangled, her clothes too thin for the season, and her small arms clutched a worn backpack against her chest as though it were a lifeline. When she saw Jack, her eyes widened with a mix of fear and desperation. "Please," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Please, sir, don't let him find me. Hide me, please." The words hit Jack harder than a gunshot. He froze, staring at her, trying to process what he had just heard. His first thought was that maybe she was lost, maybe she had run away. But the terror in her eyes wasn't the kind a child fakes. It was raw. It was real. Jack crouched down to meet her gaze, keeping his voice calm. "Who's looking for you, sweetheart?" "My dad," she breathed out, barely audible. "Please, he's coming." Before Jack could ask more, the sound of distant footsteps echoed down the street. The girl's body jolted in panic. Without hesitation, Jack opened the front door and ushered her inside. He locked it behind them, scanning the darkened street for signs of anyone following. Inside, the girl collapsed into the corner of the living room, trembling so hard her teeth chattered. Ethan peeked out from the hallway, confusion on his face. "Dad, who's that?" Jack raised a hand to his son, signaling him to stay back. "It's okay, buddy. Go to your room for a bit. I'll explain later." When Ethan reluctantly retreated, Jack knelt beside the girl again. She still clutched that backpack like her life depended on it. "You're safe here. Nobody's going to hurt you. But I need to know what's going on. Why are you running from your dad?" The girl hesitated, eyes darting to the door, then back to him. Her lips trembled, but she said nothing. Jack noticed her arms, small bruises peeking out from under the sleeves. His chest tightened. "I'm Jack," he said softly, trying to earn her trust. "This is my home. And that was my son, Ethan. We won't hurt you. What's your name?" She finally whispered, "Lily." "Okay, Lily. You don't have to tell me everything right now. But you're safe tonight. That I promise." She nodded faintly, but her grip on the backpack never loosened. Jack offered her food, but she shook her head. He gave her a blanket instead, and for the first time, some of the terror faded from her eyes. Still, something gnawed at Jack, the way she shielded that bag, almost like she feared it being taken. Later that night, when Ethan had gone to sleep and the house had grown quiet, Jack sat across the room, watching Lily curled up on the couch. She had finally drifted into an uneasy sleep, the backpack still clutched against her. Jack debated for a long time, then slowly, carefully reached over. He didn't want to betray her trust. But something told him that whatever she was hiding was the key to everything. He gently unzipped the bag. Inside, his breath caught. Stacks of cash, thousands of dollars, stuffed into the worn fabric, bound by rubber bands. And not just money. There were small, sealed packets of white powder. Drugs. Jack's stomach dropped. He zipped it back quickly, heart pounding. What on earth had this little girl gotten mixed up in? Moments later, Lily stirred awake. Her eyes darted immediately to the bag, then to Jack. When she saw his expression, her face crumpled. "I didn't take it," she whispered frantically. I didn't. He made me carry it. I swear. Jack's voice was firm, but not unkind. Lily, you need to tell me the truth. Why do you have this? Tears streamed down her cheeks as she spoke, her small hands shaking. My dad, he sells it. He makes me take it to people. I didn't want to. I hate it. But he said if I don't, he'll hurt me. He already does. Jack felt rage rise inside him, a familiar heat he hadn't felt since combat days. The thought of any man using his own child like this made his blood boil. But he forced himself to stay calm. You did the right thing coming here, he told her gently. You're brave, Lily. But this is dangerous. Very dangerous. She clutched his sleeve, sobbing. Please don't make me go back. Please. He'll kill me if he knows I lost the bag. Jack closed his eyes, exhaling slowly. He was a single dad with his own challenges. He had no business getting involved in drug crimes, no business putting his son in danger. But then he looked at Lily, this trembling little girl who had risked everything just to escape. How could he turn her away? The night passed in restless silence. Jack barely slept, his mind battling between protecting his son and doing the right thing for Lily. By morning, he had made his decision. First, he called in a favor from an old friend, Sergeant Morales, a cop he had served with overseas before they both returned home. Morales owed him, and more importantly, Jack trusted him. He explained the situation, every detail, including the bag. Morales didn't sugarcoat it. Jack, this is big. If what she's saying is true, her dad isn't just some small-time dealer. This is organized. Dangerous people are involved. You need to be careful. Jack tightened his grip on the phone. I'm not letting him hurt her again. I won't. That day, Morales arranged a plan. They would set up surveillance, gather evidence, and move in on Lily's father carefully. But until then, Lily needed a safe place. Jack volunteered without hesitation. Ethan was quiet at first, unsure what to make of Lily's sudden presence. But slowly, he warmed to her. He shared his video games, made her laugh with silly impressions, even offered her the last cookie in the jar, a rare gesture of generosity. For the first time in what seemed like forever, Lily smiled without fear. But their fragile peace didn't last long. 3 nights later, the sound of pounding fists shook the front door. Jack jumped to his feet, his heart racing. Open up, a deep voice bellowed. I know she's in there. Lily's face went white. She clutched Ethan's arm, trembling. Jack motioned for them both to hide in the back room. Then he stood tall, every muscle tense, and opened the door just a crack. A large man stood there, eyes bloodshot, fury radiating off him. Even without the introduction, Jack knew, this was Lily's father. You've got something of mine, the man growled. My daughter, and my bag. Jack's voice was low, steady, the same tone he used in combat to mask fear. She's not going back with you. Not now, not ever. The man sneered. You don't know who you're messing with, old man. You think you can just take her? Jack's stance never wavered. I'm not taking her. I'm protecting her. And trust me, you don't want to test me. For a tense moment, silence stretched between them. Then the man cursed, spat at the ground, and stormed off into the night. But Jack knew this wasn't over. Within hours, Morales and his team moved in, launching a raid on the man's operation. It wasn't just Lily's father, they uncovered a whole network of distribution. The evidence in Lily's bag became the linchpin in bringing it all down. Her bravery had exposed an empire. The days that followed were a blur. Lily's father was arrested, facing years behind bars. Social services stepped in, but Lily clung to Jack with tearful eyes, terrified of being taken away again. Jack fought harder than he'd ever fought in his life, not with weapons, but with paperwork, court hearings, and endless questions. He argued that Lily deserved a safe home,